It's spring in New Zealand. It's been a long, cold winter in Hawke's Bay. And we still have to take advantage of the sun between days-long rains. I'm on a mission to get into shape as best I can in the next few weeks and months. COVID is back in New Zealand, and it looks like it might be here to stay. We've been lucky here. Through most of the pandemic, we've lived like there was no COVID, because for the most part, there was no COVID here. Even during lockdowns, we were encouraged to go outside and exercise, but that was limited to our immediate neighborhoods. We couldn't come to places like this at levels 3 or 4. This is Tamata Park, a really beautiful place that's easily accessible from central Hawke's Bay. I packed a change of shoes for hiking, but I forgot the key to my bike lock. A good plan B was to ride to the top instead. Sometime over the last year or so, we started thinking about the fact that New Zealand's health system would collapse very quickly if COVID victims started flooding the hospitals. In spite of the time we've had to improve that, this is still the case today. So it's important for people like me to do everything we can to be healthy so that we don't need to use the health system for COVID or for anything else. We're hearing about the limits of the health system a lot more just recently, and one gets the impression that this might be the government's way of motivating us to get vaccinated. Another vibe I'm getting is that they want to act like they are at our mercy. Like they can't really do anything about the fact that people are getting tired of lockdowns and starting to break the rules. The buzz in New Zealand now is living with COVID. But the government seems to want us to think that that's our idea and not theirs. Most people seem happy to go along with that, even considering the other info coming from the media right now about how many people are expected to die, along with the stories about how few COVID cases it will take to overwhelm the health system, which will result in avoidable non-COVID deaths. Although most people don't seem to mind this new direction, there are particular groups we're supposed to blame. The people breaking the lockdown rules, especially the gangs who are breaking those rules in order to sell meth. The government has acted like they really can't control the gangs for a long time, and has been very light-handed in its approach to rule breakers throughout the pandemic. Tamata Park has good trails, so there aren't a lot of health risks walking here. I plan to walk all of the trails again this spring, but I'll stay off the mountain bike trails for a while. Northland and Waikato regions recently went to Alert Level 3 as the number of cases in the country grows. The good news is that the government has not given up on lockdowns yet, and is still buying time to get ready for what is to come. Someone tested positive recently in Bay of Plenty, so lockdown could be coming to that region soon. There's talk about the possibility of Auckland returning to Level 4. The blossoms are beautiful this time of year, but I don't see a lot of those in the park. A ride through the orchards might be in order. I bet the plum and apple trees look pretty nice about now. I just got my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Rollout of the vaccines has been slow in New Zealand. I'm just a bit behind other people my age. At this point, 81% of eligible people have had the first shot, 53% the second. New Zealand has secured a deal to buy 60,000 doses of the new COVID-19 treatment Molnupiravir on the condition it's proved for use in this country. People in Hawke's Bay 50 to 100 years ago really liked planting redwoods, and there are 2 groves of those in Tamata Park. We won't see those today, but I'll try to take you there soon. There are lots of other great features here, like the limestone cliffs. Monoclonal antibodies are another treatment that should be available here. Colds and flus hit me hard, so I'm worried about getting COVID. I don't want to rely on the vaccine alone as my only line of defense. Getting into better shape seems like a really good idea. I'm also taking vitamins C and D, shopping for zinc, and looking into other ways to prepare my body. I do realize what it's like living in New Zealand and talking to the rest of the world about COVID. It's been nice living in New Zealand during this pandemic so far, but things are changing. We're trying to ease into these changes, but they could hit us hard at any time. This looks like a big moment in our history, so I've decided to keep a vlog. New Zealand is seen as a paradise by many. Here's hoping we aren't soon seeing a real dark side. Talk to you soon.